Hello. Hi, everyone. It's Imran, Web Squadron. I've been yawning a lot, like 10 minutes. Like, I'm about to yawn now, leading up to this live chat. I think I mentioned a couple of days ago how much fatigue had caught up with me, and it really has. And I had this pretty intense pre-proposal I did for a client, and I'm pretty sure they're going to come back and say they're happy to continue and everything. But sleep wise, I didn't get much sleep last night, and it's not actually due to work, it's due to my cats. Cat, well, both cats woke me up at 2 a.m. accidentally, and then tried to go back to sleep. But the trouble is, though, because you can still hear them running around, messing around, because they mess around a lot at night, banging into things or messing around with each other, like play fighting. They love to play fight, believe me. I just kept hearing them. And it was, I think the moment I fell asleep was 4:30 a.m. And then my alarm went off at 5 a.m. So it was a bit of a weird night. I can tell you that now. It was a very weird night. Because I didn't actually go to bed until about close to 11 p.m. So I feel like I've had 3 hours proper sleep. Hey, Real Studios, how you doing? Beatrice, hope you're all right. Just wondering, how much am I too late? No, I've just jumped on now. Actually. I'm just done a proposal for a client. It's actually a pre-proposal. And I'll talk more about how I like to approach pre-proposals. I like to send them in an email. It's not a document. I just like to paste stuff in the email where I take their existing logo and I go, I think for your brand colors, based on your logo, here's the colors we need to go for your header, your text, and we'll take a color from your logo that will become your accent color or near enough accent color. And then here's complementary colors that aren't even in your logo, but they complement the colors you got. So here are the other alternative button color, because you might have an alternative button color and you might have a background color for the page, but you might have an alternative background, so you mix things up a bit. And then I like to, I might take their cover image or their hero image they usually use and say, I think you should try these different image styles instead. And then I will give them a break. I will then give them a screenshot of their font. So if I say use Open Sans, they ain't going to know what Open Sans is. So I will, like in Canva, light, regular, medium, bold, no, semi-bold, bold, and then extra bold. I'll write down their company name in the different styles, and I'll say, right, this is the one we'll use for text. This is the one we'll use for heading. We've got other sizes as well, weightings, but these are the ones I recommend. And then I will put down what plugins they'll have on their website. So I'll say, here's the 9 plugins we're going to go for. Okay, these are the 9 you're definitely going to be using. I'll make clear in brackets if I'll install it, but then you need to make sure you activate it with your license. So they have the onus, the burden is on them to make sure they do that. I know they've got Elementor Pro anyway, so they'll be all right. And if it's a makeover website, I quickly go through their pages. So looking at their menu, homepage, page 1. Then where do you go after that? So what else have they got? This website has actually got 43 pages. So they've got 6 pages in their menu, but then they've got like a mega menu. So they've got loads of other pages that sit below. So because of that, it comes up to 43. And then I might say you got page 2 is about, and then you got page 8, which is about again. Let's get rid of page 2 and just have page 8 and merge it. You've got an inquiries page and a contact page. Why don't you stick it on one and you have a menu anchor? So if you click inquiries, it goes to the same page, but it goes to the relevant section or part of it, because it makes sense to be in the same area. Because because what if someone goes to your inquiries and they actually just want to ask a contact message? They might not want to fill out all of the info, and they might not realize there was another form or the other way around. So I like to do stuff like that. And also, it also gives you an opportunity because you're now spelling out to them that when I gave you a price, a ballpark price, this is what it was. Now that I know exactly the fact that it's going to be actually 46 pages, because you've got privacy policy, accessibility statement, and cookies policy. So you need to have those extra 3 pages. That's 46 pages. And you're going to need 5 custom post types, which means that you're going to have a total of 10 templates. So 5 archive ones and then 5 single post templates, because they're all going to be slightly different. Your header footer is part of the homepage. I don't class that as a separate template because that you would have to do anyway. So when you total it all up, I can then go back to the client or potential client or practically signed off client is, here's the price I said, but on evaluation, and you can now see that I'm not making it up. You don't use those words, but that's what you're trying to imply. The cost now goes up significantly more. But then this is where I might go, however, because I said this, we can come to this point here, but that's the lowest price we will go. And that's it. And I find that when you do that, it builds up a level of trust with the client, I always find, because you're showing that even before we've ow, just hit my elbow. Even before you've paid the initial deposit, discovery call, that's a separate cost. But before you've paid the 50% initial deposit, right? Here's the thinking now, right? Here's the outline of how we're going to approach it. And that does help. So I always say that if you can just open up Canva, drop some circles in, and then, pick the relevant colors, do an eyedropper on the logo to pick up the colors they are using, and then, get your contrasting colors that fit that. And if you're unsure, I really think a lot of people don't get this, right? If you are ever unsure, take a screenshot of what you got so far so you know that these are the colors they're using in their logo. Upload it to ChatGPT and say, can you give me complementary colors to use on a website as part of the branding? And it will chuck them out for you. Double check the hex codes because sometimes ChatGPT gets it slightly wrong. But you can pick the eyedropper like in Canva and get the hex codes and all of that. If you do that, and like I said with the font, how many of you have gone over to your client and gone, yeah, we're going to use Poppins? And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. We're going to use Montserrat. We're going to use Questrial or Quicksand or, do they even know what you're talking about? But if you can say to the client, light, regular, medium, semi-bold, bold, extra bold, and we're going to use the regular for your text, and we're going to use the semi-bold, or was it the bold? I think it was the semi-bold for your headings. Are you okay with that? But because you're showing them their company name, right? So it's the same word, but this time in different weightings. They might go, actually, I don't mind if we go for the light, even though it's very thin, because they actually like it, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't recommend that always, because contrast-wise, it doesn't always look great, even when you have black on white page. It doesn't always look good, even the other way around, white on black. Sometimes, they look a little bit too slim or skinny. Or they might say, actually, we want to go for the extra bold for our headings. We really want to go for the impact. And that's what they can do. Real Studios, awesome tips. Yeah, 99% of the time, a client will be, what's that? Exactly. So and when you do that, you're literally they can start to visualize things better as well. And it shows that you're thinking as well, right? Because they've probably worked with, because I know this person, big company, has worked with other designer developers. I do wonder when I look at what they've got right now, I don't think the person who worked on their website moved beyond what the logo was. So the logo had some browns, it had some pinks, and that was about it. And the entire website, when you look at it, is mainly browns and pinks. Just because the logo's got it. It hasn't even got like solid black or, it's very, like that. So if you can take the logo colors or the key colors you want, and you don't have to use every color. You just go, well, I like that bit of the logo color, that one. Yeah, okay, they look good. And then you say to ChatGPT, as part of the branding for this website and the makeover, could you tell me what the complementary colors are? Not contrasting, complementary. And what did it give me for the browns? There were like 2 browns, dark brown, light brown, and a pinkish color. What did it give me? It gave me this like really dark navy blue as a button color. And then it gave me this more aqua-y color. Not aqua, sorry. Turquoisey. More of a turquoisey, but not bright turquoise. In fact, I'm not even getting the color right. But anyway, it gave me that. And then it gave me a creamy white color as well. And when you put all of them together, the logo colors, like the 3 circles I had, and then you put the other extra 3 now for the 2 buttons and this other creamy white color, and you are going to have white in there as well. All of a sudden, you start to see it. You start to go, yeah, I can see this now. That really brown, let's make it darker, right? So it's brown but darker, not just off black, but it is still a hint of brown. That will be the text color, right? The lighter brown we will use in places, but not a lot. The pink color we will use for some other headings, though. Just make it slightly darker, just a little bit. And then the buttons, right? We can flex between these other colors. And it does so much of the hard work for you. Because before, what I'd have to do is I'd see a color and I either already knew what the complementary color was, or you forget. And then you go onto websites. Sorry, I'm yawning. You go onto websites and you're looking at images and you're looking at color charts and you're going, right, so if you are blue, let's think about orange. Do you know what I mean? Oh, you are red, let's think about green. You know what I mean? They're more contrasting. That was the wrong thing to say. You're looking at complementary colors, so it still fits with the brand. I mean, if I had my way, I'd get them to change their brand, but they have uniforms, and their uniforms all have the logo and the color on, so you can't really, make a major change on it now. But if you can enhance it and make them fall in love with their logo even more, I mean, here's the really cool bit, right? This is brilliant, okay? I got a high resolution PNG of their logo has a mascot. I'm not going to say what kind of mascot, but it has like a creature, right? I got a high res PNG of that. I stuck it into ChatGPT, and I said, Grok is actually shit at this. ChatGPT 4.0 was miles better. So you upload the image, and I said, study the character. Study the eyes, the ears, the fingers, the shade, the color. Study the fur line. Study everything about this, even the teeth and the whiskers and everything about it. That gives a bit away, but it's not what you think. It's not a cat, right, or a dog. Study this properly. Then give me 6 different poses for this character. I don't mind if you use different costumes, whatever, or different poses. Okay, I don't mind, but they all need to relate to da-da. So what is the subject matter of the website? It must relate to da-da. Because they had 3 versions of this animal, but to be honest, they all looked very similar. One of them is just standing there. One of them is near a desk. One of them is doing something. It looks like whoever designed it just made one character and then just added ornaments in front or whatever. There's not much different about the face at all. What did ChatGPT do? What did it do? It gave me 6 character poses, right? So it gave me 6 versions of the character doing different stuff. I then said, do another 6, and it did it. So I've now got 12 extra poses. I've sent them to the client. I've said, look, do you like them? If you agree, we can use them. Because because you've got this mascot, you are using it on your existing website, but you're just duplicating the same image. Now we have 6 different versions of poses and things he's doing and the way he's dressed a bit. This is going to fit. We can go, right, for this particular page or the messaging, this is going to work. We could drop it in. Don't overdo it. Never overdo it with things because they might become like a gimmick. Don't overdo it. But the power that you've got now, and in terms of comparability to what their logo is, I would say if the logo was a 10 out of 10, right? The logo is not the greatest. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't have gone for that pose. But if that's the benchmark, because that's what they've been using for years and years and years, but ChatGPT was a 9 out of 10. That is how close it was. And when I say it was different, you can get away with the differences because there's a little bit of a difference in the face just now and again, but that's down to the pose because it's doing different stuff with its hands or whatever. So it works because you know as well as I do, if you draw a cartoon character or even you look in the mirror, you will look different when you're like straight on, looking more on the right side, looking more on the left side, up, down, and all of that. Shadows and stuff, right? So it's just one of these things where if you want to use a bit of AI to help yourself out, go for it. Now, I am working on something that is, I'm not sure how, I know how to describe it, but I'm not going to describe it because I think I might ruffle a few feathers. But obviously, we got version 3.3 of the Pix Refiner. And I just thought there is something else I would love to get out there. And again, it's just to help you with your developments and stuff like that. It's one of those things where a lot of people are going to slate it. Like proper slate it big time. And I don't massively care. Because I think that this is still going to be super bloody useful in what it does. And I hope people take to it. I hope people like what I put together. I am yawning a lot. I'm really sorry, everyone. I'm really, really sorry. My son's gone off to a Battle of Bosworth school event today. I'm sure he's going to come back full of mud, even though it's not rained for about, I don't know now, 4 or 5 days. Somehow he'll come back covered in mud from head to toe. So what are you all working on? Tell me more about your projects. Tell me what you're working on. Tell me how you're finding the Pix Refiner. I mean, some people have come back and had issues. Like, it seems like if you're running on a Hostinger server, some people have issues with it, but I'm like, I can't do much about that. If Hostinger want to be ultra secure and not let you touch the file and database to make conversions and things, that's between you and Hostinger at the end of the day. Hey CM, how you doing? Hope you're okay. I'm just double checking some stuff that I've got over here. Yeah, things are looking okay at the moment. Cool. Yes, I'm working on this snippet that will kind of educates you, but it also highlights issues and how to fix them. But I'm only going to get this tool to do so much informing because it's a bit complexicated beyond my ability and understanding, I think, of how to get it proper to do exactly what I want. But that's what I'm going to say about it. You know, you may hear more about it next week or not, because if I'm not happy with it, it's not going out. And I think I learned that lesson very much from the WebP converter that became Pix Refiner. Part of me wishes that I never released version 1. I should have got to version 2. Because version 2 looked so much better, didn't it, than version 1? I felt in the way it appeared. So much better. And version 3, even better, I feel like, with extra stuff. But in comparison, version 1 was a bit of a, oh, wow, I've got this working. Oh, I want to share it with the world. And I should have just taken a massive step back and gone, how are we going to present it? Because often with a code snippet, you just want to get it out yet, don't you? It has been keeping me very busy, Kays. I mean, I can't stop yawning at the moment. And someone's had an issue. So I released a version 3.3 and they're still having an issue. And then I really interrogated, and it seems like people who are using Hostinger will struggle to do the PDF compression because Hostinger does not enable Ghost script, which is what you need to do the compression. And there may be an issue with sometimes just running Pix Refiner to convert. But that's between people and Hostinger. What I will say, though, is if you ever use a third-party plugin to fix or convert or compress images on your current website, we'll call it a legacy website, you know as well as I do that it won't always convert everything. You could hit convert and still have images that are getting skipped or not converted, right? It still happens. Or it doesn't convert properly, or there's an error, or it corrupts. It can happen with anything. Personally, for me, I'm not planning to use this on lots of legacy websites because the websites are actually quite small and slim anyway. Because they always had WebP, right? It wasn't like, oh, I loaded in PNG and now I realize I need to do WebP. No, they always had WebP anyway. And even though you have some duplicates, because they were already a WebP, those extra duplicates add up to next to nothing, right? The entire website for lots of clients or legacy stuff, they're like between 400 to 500 megabytes, okay? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's all right. They're good. They don't really ever grow beyond that. They're okay. Where I really recommend you use it is on a brand new website. Because when you use it on a brand new website, okay, everything you load in will be auto-converted. So you don't have to worry about, well, will my legacy work or not? Or does it have a broken link? Palav says 3.1 is far better. 3.3 is better than 3.1. 3.3 has some more security things built in. The only issue you're going to have is if you try to do a PDF compression. The PDF compression bit might not work for you, but even still, everything else will work. As long as you've got decent PHP memory limit. CM, how can people complain? They do, mate. They do. Some people think, a lot of people accuse me of creating videos for affiliate commissions. And I'm like, yeah, I have some affiliate links for some of the gear I got or for Elemental Pro, but I'm not out there promoting every single hosting platform under the sun. You know, when I do my videos, I'm telling you to use Hello. Some other people will tell you to use Cadence or Ocean WP or something else because there's an affiliate link, but that's not my style kind of thing. Or some people don't like it that I've created a tool or a snippet because maybe they are invested. Sorry, I'm yawning a lot. Maybe they have a vested interest in another plugin or another tool and they don't like it. Whoa, sorry, hit the microphone then. God, I feel like I'm going to faint in a moment. So there's going to be haters. Yeah, we know that. There's going to be people. And some people have even said to me, directly and indirectly, no one asked for this. Or no one will understand this. No one's going to understand what you mean by cleaning up the media URLs. And I'm like, well, they should, because I've done enough videos of it now. Version 1, version 2, version 3, and then I did version 3.2, which was a PDF compression. I've done enough videos on it and there's notes in the YouTube video description, I've tried to reply to every single comment that comes through on each of those YouTube videos. If someone has a problem, or if they're congratulating or whatever, praising it. What was I saying? Yeah, and there's notes at the bottom as well. So when you go to when you open up the Pix Refiner, you have pane 1 and pane 2. At the bottom of pane 1, you have how does it work? And I think I've been quite succinct and clear on trying to explain the tool. But like I said, you got the videos as well. And then there's the other group of people who say, not only did they not want it, not only have you not explained why they need to bother with it, but the third one is actually a mixture of those two. Sorry. Anyway. Hey, Rashad, Viviana, no one asked for this. Do you know what? It's a funny one, right, Viviana? Because this all comes back to the thing I think I said the other week, right? You know, if you're in a shopping mall or a city center or somewhere, and you're walking down, and there's a shop open, and you see there's a new shop, you've never seen it before, or it's been there for ages, and you just notice it, and they are selling what are they selling? Let's think now, right? They're selling spoons with a built-in compass for north, east, south, west on the spoon. So they've got a spoon and it's got a compass built into it. I am not going to walk into... I will probably be thinking, do people really need that? But I'm not going to walk in and say to the shop. So if you want to think it, think it. But I'm not going to walk into the shop and go, who buys this shit? I wouldn't do that. Because there probably are people that go camping. There are probably people there, students. There's people who go somewhere exploring, you know, and they want to have something that is small, they can fit in their pocket or whatever. So if they want to eat something or whatever with a spoon, they got their own spoon and it's got a built-in compass, good for them. But there is this nastiness that you see everywhere, where people kind of they want to just pick faults kind of thing. Right, yeah, coming back onto the messages coming on. CM, most of us have made thousands of dollars learning from your videos. Hey, a spork compass, easily worth it. Hey, Donald, there we go, right? Dragon's Den, Shark Tank. Just gave you an amazing idea to go and do stuff. And the whole thing about the PDF compression, I had considered it last week and I thought, no, I'm not sure. Not sure how much of an appetite there is. But when Donald mentioned it on Monday or Tuesday's live chat, I thought, hey, let's get it done because it probably can work. Sorry if I keep yawning. I think the thing is, Rashad, people say to me, why do you use energy? I don't see it as energy. I see it as releasing my vent up frustration. So if I was to talk to my son or my wife about any of this, they wouldn't understand. They wouldn't get it. And when you're an agency or a freelancer, it can be quite lonely sometimes because you spend so much time in your room or your office working. And when something happens, like when you're on social media or YouTube, comments come in thick and fast. And a comment will come in and it knocks you sideways. And you sometimes think, why did you do that? Why did you say that? What have I ever done to you? So I see it as venting. You're releasing that anger out of you. Because what I don't want to do, you see, is keep it up. Keep this inner hatred locked up inside of me. And then when my wife or son get home, I'm in an angry mood. I'm like, oh, don't talk to me. Leave me alone. Why are you making noise? Shut the door. Leave me alone. I'm busy. You know, because you feel defensive, don't you? Oh, thank you very much, Blaine. But you feel defensive, right? And I don't like that. I don't like it if like you don't, because I always feel like the worst thing you can do is just pretend it's not happened. And often I feel like if you say it in a respectful way or counter argue it, there might be someone out there who had the same thought about you, and they might hear it and go, "Yeah, okay, you know, we get you." Tony says, not everyone that uses WordPress is a beginner and need everything spoon fed to them. These tools are great for people that understand use them. I didn't ask for it, but we'll use it. Yeah. Well, that the thing is, though, yeah, is the way I see it, Tony, is that there's plenty of WebP converter tools out there, and I think that if people start using this tool or code on brand new websites, I think it can make a huge difference to the infrastructure of so many WordPress websites. Russia's been working from home for 25 years now. You can't vent. Yeah, you know, you want. My son's pretty good on technology, but he doesn't know how to build websites. You know, if I say PHP, my wife will go, "Do you mean PhD?" I'll go, "No, PHP, memory limit." And she'll be like, "What do you mean? You got your brain, haven't you? Why are you limiting your memory? What, are you talking about short-term memory?" No, 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 I'm talking about server error 500. What, there's 500 errors? No, it's the number. You know, well, they can't find the page and there's a 404. 404? What? That's a pretty big website. No, it's not the number of pages. Right? You know, people don't get it. Avedes, with your videos, they've increased. Avedis' value to his customers have increased with the videos. You increase your prices. You're able to believe in yourself, not just a website. You can believe in yourself so much more. Do not let any mean person disrespect the crazy hours you spend for us. That's the thing, though, isn't it? That always gets overlooked, I think. And I've got to this point where I'm really sorry I keep yawning. It's been I only had 3 hours proper sleep last night. Okay, so it's really catching up on me. In fact, I can feel my eyelids drooping quite a lot. And last 10, 11 days now have been, no, it's more than that. I think it's 12 now, have been hectic. So big respect, big up to all the developers out there. I mean, I probably have put myself under more pressure, right? Because I've got their website starts on Monday. I've got another one that we're just ironing out and it will start straight after. I've got to start thinking about, am I going to make any amendments to the Elementor website course or just wait until version 4 comes out and then revisit everything then? I've got to think about, my son is off school for 2 weeks. So Monday, he's off for 2 weeks. So I've got to build website and stuff and, you know, keep my son happy and all of that. And his 10th birthday is coming up in May. So I've got to think about planning for that and stuff. And one of my friends, where I've helped them out on their website, they now want loads of changes, and I need to go back to them and going, you need to slow down and think very hard and carefully about what you want and how much this is going to cost you, because I know you have not got the money. So you need to stop and think about, do you want to do all of this? And then there's other legacy client things, and obviously videos, things I want to record. And you always have to have, you always got to have your finger on the pulse, okay? Sometimes people say to me, why do you feel like you got to rush out and get a video done? Look, if Elementor go and do a beta version of 3.29 at some point, is it worth my time jumping in and looking into it and doing a video? And it's not because I want to be the first one to do it, but it's because I want people to get my honest opinion of it. straight away rather than anyone else's. CM, just out of curiosity, what videos all of you watch? Would love to watch. Yeah, I mean, so I did a video on jet engine, jet forms about 15 months ago. Will I be doing any more videos for that? The answer is no. Because I feel like if they want me to do any videos, they need to commission me now, because I spent a lot of time. And I did find, I don't know how a lot of you feel, right? But there were many times I got frustrated with some aspects of jet engine or forms or something. There were many times where you're doing something and then I realize, oh, hold on, that's not working the way I think, or I should have done that before. And then when you go back, it always felt a little bit like you were it's like taking the wheel and you're taking out a spoke and the whole wheel falls apart. And then you put the spoke back in and the wheel doesn't turn. And you go, huh? I just put it back. What's going on? And there were many times I felt like I was reinventing the wheel many, many times. It might be just the way I do it. So it's good to use, but I also think you got to think quite a bit over it. I don't use dynamic OO, by the way, mainly because I'm quite happy with what I use and got. And there's a bit of code snippet where I can show repeater fields in Elementor without having to use dynamic.oo. Because quite frankly, personally, I don't see the point of paying a premium just to show repeaters in Elementor. Sync with self. Do you use ACF over jet engine? Yep. Yes. Mainly because I want to reduce the bloat. A lot of the reasons why I'm using the ACF, I can use Elementor to supplement it and whatever. I don't need to. I am really tired here. I don't need to bloat it out, because it's always bad enough when you have a website and you add WooCommerce, right? And the size of your database jumps a bit. The number of inodes jumps by about 7,000. If you don't know what your inodes are, go and have a look. And there's so much going on there that you don't actually need, but it all gets loaded in. The same can be said a little bit for all of the jet engine stuff, all of that, the suite of things. And I have to be honest, I've always had this little irritation about, to use Jet Smart filters, you have to get Jet Engine. You can't just plug Jet Smart filters in and use it alongside your existing loop grid. No, you got to use Jet Engine and rebuild bits and pieces and whatever. And I've also found that when I've used it with clients like Jet Engine and Jet Smart Filter, it's very easy for them to break it. If you're not maintaining the website, there's many times they've screwed it up. And yes, they pay you to fix it, but sorry. I like to imagine myself. I'm going to make a point here. The way I like my clients to feel and be left when I move on and stop working with them and they're looking after their website is very similar to how I want to feel after I go to a store and I buy a computer, or I buy an iPhone, or I buy whatever or something, right? I want to know, right? For instance, let's say you hire a carpenter to make a new door for you, right? So they come in, they make the door, and then they piss off, right? I shouldn't have to now go over to that door and go, oh, hold on. It's creaking. It doesn't close properly. It kind of opens ajar. A little bit of a draft and it slams open. I shouldn't have that. I should be able to go, right, okay, 1 year down the line, it's making a squeaky noise. I don't have to contact the carpenter. I can get a bit of WD-40, squirt it on the hinges, and that should stop the squeak. Do you understand what I'm saying? I should be able to manage it. With Jet Engine and lots of the extensions, I have found that if you're not maintaining the website and you give it to a client and they're not comfortable with it, or there's a problem, or there's an update, it is so easy for them to fuck it up. Like, so easy. Even with WooCommerce, you can mess things up, but there's a little bit of an intuitiveness to it. So if all they're doing is looking after their products, they should be all right. But there are some plugins out there. I get uncomfortable if I knew that I had a 75-year-old client who doesn't even have a smartphone or anything. They're not great on the technology side of things. I'm giving you a real example here. I give them that. They muck up. Now, here's the funny thing, Case. Here's the funny thing. I don't use ACF, I find, is easier because all you're going to do with the ACF is build the post type, the taxonomy, and the fields, right? When it comes to presenting or filtering, you can either go really simple and just use the taxonomy filter by Elementor, or use Grid Builder WP. Because I find Grid Builder WP really, really simple to use. I'm yawning. Is there anyone here who uses JetSmart filters and they've used Grid Builder? Which one did you prefer? Because I've used both of them and other stuff as well. Filter everything. I used, oh God, what was it called? The one by Shop Engine. What was it called? Themify. I used that as well, right? Grid Builder beats them all hands down. Seriously, Case, I could build a website for someone, use ACF. They want to have some really bespoke filterings of their shop and other stuff. I can stick Grid Builder in, and you know what? Even when I don't talk to that client ever again, they are seriously okay with working on that. Whoops, I keep hitting the microphone. Donald says, anyone got a good solution for easily downloading Elementor forms? I've got a customer who's used a form template on 22 pages. Hey, Pickstar. And the entries are creating separate 22 files when they are exported. Ah. My tip to you, Donnell, is copy your question, go to ChatGPT, paste it in, but just elaborate a little bit more. Explain a bit more, as an example. So say they've got a form. Is it the same form on the pages? Right? But yeah, just chuck it into ChatGPT. Right, so Sync with Self is saying, what membership plugin do you use? I quite like Paid Membership Pro. That is one of my favorites. I do like that. Do you know what, Pickstar? It's been awesome. It's been good, but I am really exhausted and fatigued. I can't stop yawning. I think people have noticed how much I'm yawning. I only got 3 hours sleep last night. Cats woke me up accidentally. And then I struggled to sleep. And then when I did go to sleep, my alarm went off at 5 a.m. I could have stayed in bed. I could have. However, I'm a little bit addicted into ensuring that I get my steps and not steps, but like my cardio in, because I'm getting this all wrong now. Hold on. There we go. Right, I like to get my exercise in. I like to know. So right now I've burned 2,196 calories and I've notched up 332 minutes of exercise. And I like that. I like that. I will definitely be getting some shut eye very, very soon. Pixar's lacking sleep too. Daughter, how old is she now? 2. Is she 2 years old now, Pixar? 2.5? 2.5? My daughter started a tooth last night, and my night was pretty much, yeah, it's, I mean, I went and bought, I mean, what I did do is, I quickly nipped out earlier in the day just to my local shop, and I went and got some frozen doner kebab because it's really good, actually. Tastes really good. Frozen doner kebab, stick it in the air fryer. I've got my keto wraps. The wraps are like 2 grams of carbs, like 0 sugar, right? Lots of protein in a wrap. And then doner kebab, meat in the air fryer, 8 minutes, yakety yak. And that should do me pretty well. I had an excellent doner kebab today. It's 11:30 p.m. here in Australia, says Single Self. I hope you're not feeling hungry. Palav prefers Jet Smart Filter. It's easy to understand. But have you used Grid Builder, Palav? So here's the interesting thing, yeah. I think anyone who's used Jet Smart Filters and Grid Builder, I have found a lot of people will stick with Grid Builder. What have you used both or just one? Idris. Right, so 3.2 gives you the PDF compression. If you want to stick with 3.1, stick with it. 3.3 addresses some of the issues people had with the compression thing. It's all to do with Ghostscript, but it should not impact on the WebP or the AVIF conversions. Tom's got a 3-year-old and a 9-week-old. It's super fun in our house at the moment. We're getting lots of sleep. Really? Oh, man. I'm really sorry. I mean that, my yawn, it's not even like one of these yawns where you can continue talking. It's one of those yawns that literally I feel like it sucks the life out of me. My soul is sinking. Right. I don't think I'm going to manage another couple of minutes. I feel like I'm going to close off in 2 minutes. We've been live for 47 minutes. I am going to jump off in 2 minutes because I feel like I'm just going to drop dead if I'm not careful. Oh, Pixar is lovely, isn't it? When the kids drop off at like 7 p.m. and then you get to stick TV on and catch up on Netflix and Apple TV and Disney and loads of other shows that you've recorded. Mate, it's wonderful, isn't it? And then they wake up at 9 p.m. and you're like, oh my God. Or they come downstairs and you're like, and they're like, I thought you were in bed. You go, yeah, we were about to go to bed. Palav, could you please say something about excessive DOM size? So excessive DOM size, it's a difficult one because it all depends on what do you need to show on the page. So what is the aim of the page? Just for info, then keep it light, a certain flow. Just be mindful of what loads, because what if they come on the page and they quickly scroll? You don't want to have delayed things loading in. So it very much depends on what you've got on the page, mate. How much do you charge for care plan, standard website and e-commerce? Oh, a standard website would be $90. Well, £90. Dollars is like what, $120 ish, I think. If it's got WooCommerce, then I up the price to $150. But I don't upsell the maintenance. I let them know about it, but I don't upsell it because I don't want it. I don't want to be worried about maintaining stuff. I hate that. I want to be moving on to new and better things. Right, everyone, I really am jumping off now. I am really jumping off now. Maybe I will do some more tutorials on Jet Engine. Who knows? Maybe I will. An updated one on how to use it for, your filtering and stuff like that. I am close to to collapsing on my desk right now. So I'm going to say thanks, everyone. I'm working on some other stuff that I hope to share next week. If not, I've got videos coming out anyway. I hope you like, subscribe, share, and follow. Please smash the like button because it really matters a lot. And I am going to go and get some sleep because my son will be home in 1 hour and he ain't going to let me sleep. Goodbye.